It's WWF Raw. No, let's try that again.
Everyone to Monday Night Raw!
Thanks again, Vince. Yes, it's LJN's final entry in the trilogy of 16-bit WWF games, and it's easily the best in the series. I mean, the ads featured barking dogs and swinging slabs of meat, so you knew it had to be great. The game came out in November 1994 for both the SNES and Genesis, and hallelujah, the rosters and options are the same for both games. Of the 12 wrestlers here, 6 are veterans of the series, including Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Undertaker, Yokozuna, Shawn Michaels, and Lex Luger, although he's now portrayed as a patriot rather than a narcissist. Newcomers are Bam Bam Bigelow, at least if you didn't play Rage in the Cage, and you didn't, Diesel, Owen Hart, the 1-2-3 Kid, Doink the Clown, and Luna Vachon? Plus 2 points for gender equality, minus fire putting someone in the game no one wanted to play as. I mean, were people clamoring to recreate the Bigelow-Vachon team from WrestleMania 10? If you have to put someone new in, why not Jeff Jarrett, or Bob Holly, or Quang? Anyway, the presentation is largely the same, although they made the crowd look much larger than in Royal Rumble, and given the state of the business at the time, that probably wasn't the case. They did add a nice rendition of the old Raw theme song to the beginning of the game. And after win, you see the wrestler's logo on the old Proto-Titantron they used to use. And since Bobby Heenan left the company in late 1993, Jerry the King Lawler is now doing commentary with Vince McMahon. Remember my few nitpicks about Royal Rumble? Well, LJN went ahead and fixed them all. Survivor Series mode is back in the game, joining the Royal Rumble tournament mode, and brawls. And remember how I complained that in brawl tag matches your partner would just stand on the apron? Well, this time they added a Bedlam feature, which is just a tornado tag / elimination match, meaning all 4 wrestlers are in the ring at the same time, and the match is over when 2 people on a team are eliminated, and it's crazy fun. You can do this in traditional or brawl format, which leads to extended fighting outside the ring, and since the game now supports 4 players, you and 3 friends can just go apeshit. Another new feature is the Raw Endurance match, where you choose a team of 5 wrestlers to go against another squad. It's a series of singles matches, and when one wrestler is pinned, the next one takes his place until one team is eliminated. It's a shame Triple H isn't in the game, as that would allow you to have all 5 Click members against the rest of the locker room, as was the case in 1996. Another complaint I had was that everyone in Royal Rumble had the same movesets. Well, that's been fixed in Raw. Not that everyone has different moves, but they add some variety. Some guys do fallaway slams, some do DDTs, and some apparently do Steiner screwdrivers. They also tweaked a few moves, so when you hit an atomic drop or a vertical suplex, you hold the guy in the air for just a second before planting them. Plus they added one of my favorite video game moves, the back body drop! Okay, that's enough, Vince. And now normal matches can end on a submission move. Okay, the sharpshooter is the only submission move in the game, but at least Bret and Owen don't have to inexplicably go for pinfalls after applying it. Besides movesets, another change is that the wrestlers all have different stats in the categories of speed, strength, stamina, and weight. So the 1-2-3 Kid flies around the ring, while Yokozuna is obviously much slower, but Yoko's moves have much more impact. Granted, you can still suplex Yokozuna around with anyone at all, but still, baby steps. But what Raw might be best known for is the Mega Moves. No, not finishers, I'm talking Mega Moves. You see, Mortal Kombat was a big hit at the time. And part of it was because people were trying to discover each character's special fatality move that ended a match in gruesome fashion. So LJN added a crazy move for each member of the roster. I'm talking moves like kicking your opponent outside the ring like a football, or Bret Hart doing a 1080 splash. Take that, Jack Evans. You can do these moves whenever, and for most of them there's no penalty for doing them, like losing health. So if you know them, you'll probably just spend a good portion of the match repeating them, which does take a little fun out of the game. And while other wrestlers do windmill splashes or spin around like a tornado, the Undertaker just does a running clothesline. Granted, it sends you sailing out of the ring, but still, the Undertaker had superpowers. You think if anyone could do a crazy physics-defying move, it'd be him. Complaints are hard to come by. I mean, they even fixed the pinfalls in the game. But one change that took some getting used to was the grapple meter. In past games, your wrestler would always be represented by the left side of the meter, but in Raw, it's whichever side of the grapple you happen to be standing on. So if you're standing on the right side of the grapple, you have to look at the right side of the meter, instead of the left as before. It's really confusing at first when you think you're about to do a move, only to get DDT'd instead. Besides that, well, the 1-2-3 Kid's moonsault looks weird, and I don't even know what Luna Vachon's finisher is supposed to be. A Vader bomb elbow? Lame. We want Quang. Anyway, the game came out for both the Game Boy and Game Gear, each missing some features from their 16-bit counterparts. There's also a version for the 32X. What's that, you ask? Well, like the Sega CD, it was another add-on to extend the life of the Genesis by boosting graphics and sound. And this one didn't last too long, as the Sega Saturn, an actual new console, arrived only 6 months later. There's not a lot different about this one. One weird quirk is that in addition to Lawler and McMahon, Raw on the 32X featured the commentary dream team of Gorilla Monsoon and Stephanie Wyan. The final boss you beat to win the game? Quang! So, there you go. Raw is easily the best of the 16-bit WWF games. Grab the SNES or Genesis version if you see it. And this is another game that calls for a remake for Xbox Live or an iPhone app. The WWE makes DVDs specifically cater to an older audience, and they recently printed a line of shirts with retro logos. So why not a retro game? Well, maybe someday. Until then, thanks for watching, and remember, a winner is you.